Welcome to our YouTube video series on business law. My name is Christopher Neufeld of Neufeld Legal, and in this particular YouTube video, we will be looking at why franchise disclosure documents and franchise agreements no longer really serve the intended purpose of protecting the franchisee. Now, to understand the rationale behind disclosure documents and franchise agreements, we need to look back at why they were originally conceived of. And that was out of the public interest by the government to protect new prospective franchisees, which means the smaller guys who are buying the franchises, from inappropriate and corrupt practices of larger franchise systems. Oftentimes the new franchise systems that were coming into play and that were taking advantage of gullible business people or who are looking to start their first business. So what the government decided to do was to provide some strictures with which to sort of constrain these large franchise systems from not adequately disclosing and informing prospective franchisees as to their rights and also having responsibilities imposed upon franchisors. Now, that was all a great thing and a great concept. However, what has happened over time is the fact that, yes, it's curtailed the most egregious of franchise systems from emerging and taking advantage of individuals. But for the most part, it's also created a system where disclosure documents and franchise agreements have grown to be very restrictive and really serve the purposes of the franchisor and not the purposes of the franchisee. Because these documents are in fact imposed upon the franchisee by the franchisor and have evolved over time because the franchisors who do not individually create the documents and don't not necessarily know what's in everybody else's documents have effectively worked together to create a system of documents that allows them to satisfy the laws and actually protect themselves in that process of satisfaction. Because what has happened is that the franchisors are the ones with all the money, really, and especially when you compare it to new franchisees. And therefore, they have built their set of documents, refined it, developed it, corrected them so as to address problems that they previously had in the franchise documents, such that the documents are now a very, very tight set of rules and principles that enables the franchisor to say, if the courts ever ask, we conformed to everything that the government required us to provide. We provided all that information. We don't necessarily provide more information, but we provided all the information that we required. And then on top of that, we've imposed our own rules and requirements. And this is largely found in the franchise agreement, such that we've conformed to what's required in what's provided, and meanwhile we put our own rules. And on top of that, we've given very specific instructions to everybody who promotes or sells or deals with these new prospective franchisees in what they can say. And as such, they don't talk a lot about what's the potential of a given franchise. They might talk about what the system has previously been capable of achieving, where it's going, but they do not offer any promises as to the success of the new franchisee. Now, this may not be the case with some younger franchise systems where they haven't got adequate legal counsel. But on the larger franchise systems, they cover everything that they talk about, and they aim to protect every angle that's available to a franchisee so that they are not burnt by it. And that's why when you come across disclosure documents and franchise agreements in your process of a franchise arrangement, you'll find that there is not much that you can garner from it. There are certain things that there are specific things in there that provide you some insights as to financial operations of the business, what you can and cannot do, and a lot of it is what you cannot do and how they have the advantage. It is all about how they can terminate your franchise agreement and not how you might terminate your franchise agreement. That is not found in these documents. It's your obligations to them. It's their suggestions to you as to how much it's going to cost, but it's a variable price range. And it's also telling you that you have to follow their rules, and if you don't follow their rules, they can kick you out of the system. You have to pay your royalties, and you got to pay a dozen other fees to them, and that's your obligation because you get the benefit of their franchise system, and so they are making sure that they have complete control, and they are making sure they have complete control in the legal setting as well. So this is a challenge you're going to face yourself with when you get involved in a franchise. The documentation does not provide you much relief, nor does it provide you with much insight. Nevertheless, the unfortunate thing is you are going to have to sign those franchise documents with almost no ability to make alterations, or they're simply not going to offer you the franchise. Yes, in some of the smaller franchise systems, there might be some wiggle room, but in the larger franchise systems, the agreement's the agreement, and if you don't want to have the agreement, you may as well not be looking at them because they're just going to reject you outright. They want one uniform system, and they want the rules to favor them. And even though somebody you might be talking to might say, we can talk about it, we'll look at it, it goes back to the lawyers, and the lawyers will effectively shut it down unless there's no consequences to the franchisor. So, unfortunately, that is the situation you find with franchise agreements and disclosure documents. They provide you the minimal amount while putting the maximum control over yourself. It's a challenging situation, but it's the reality that we live with in franchise systems today. Hopefully this YouTube video has been insightful and helpful. We wish it wasn't so disconcerting as to for a franchisee, and the fact that you don't have as much control as you would hope for, but unfortunately it is the reality of this business model. We wish you the best of luck in finding the right franchise for yourself. Always, we suggest nevertheless working with a lawyer who is knowledgeable in the field and making decisions that work the best for you. You really need to understand what you're getting involved in when you sign up for a franchise. So you have to research well in advance and lots of stuff. Hopefully we'll provide you with more information in our other YouTube videos. We look forward to talking to you again. We hope you'll like this video. Click on the like. Click on the subscribe so we know the interest you have in it, and that we keep on pushing out videos to you, not only on franchising, but on all aspects of business law. And because you're always going to be needing business law insights and advice as you move forward in your business. Naturally, you want to have specific advice from a lawyer directly addressing your specific situation, but at the same time, YouTube provides you with some general ideas and concepts which hopefully will lead you in the right direction. Thank you, and we look forward to speaking with you again.